Yeah. Okay. Demon just got out of can. I gave my bro an advance. Love is just not in my plans. Not even taking a chance. Studio right in my yacht. I'm doing 10 in a week. How long I been on the street? Dream about work in my sleep. Okay, I got a lock on the streets. Shout out to T the 3. And he brought it in cause of me. You don't know nothing about me. Life of my brothers is deep. Long as they all on their feet. Long as they pockets is grease. I'm in a penthouse but still nothing is sweet. Dust a man down with the pen, it's a sweep. Taller in person, you see when we meet. I heard your new shit and I'm kissing my teeth.
No, never mind.
Bringing that dirty, bringing that 30. Music with a quick extension, bringing up 30. I got bitches in the murky swerving, looking all curvy. And you already know I love them breasts, looking all perky. Looking all Christmas gift wrap, looking all turkey. Spent jumped at the ghost in the suit, looking all churchy. Fingers all itching, twitching, looking all jerky. Whipping that white girl, looking at Cersei. I was pushing that dark shit, pushing that charcoal. Now this is that big bad, this is Gustavo. Look at them jokers, look at that arsehole. Man, they're getting bread now, and this is that hardo. Black man, dominant murder. I'm a black man, government earner. Could've just slapped man, but he wanted it further. Why? Batman, da-da-da-da-da.
Hey, this is Flat Entertainment Sound DJ Ace Ride. And it's going down 2006, baby. Check it out. I do this shit for all my street niggas. All my thug niggas, all my trap niggas. You know what I'm talking about? All my niggas who trap all day, nigga trap all night. All my niggas who stay in the street, nigga 24/7. As a matter of fact, you don't work, you don't eat, you don't grind, you don't shine.
Dog, everybody know that, so I hate to get smashed, find money on deck. Gave my dog half a brick for a 73 dunk, got that bullfrog, yeah, cause I know it gon' jump. I'm a real street nigga, do you understand me? I'm a walking bankroll, breezy rubber band me. Red monkeys on my ass, Gucci frames on my face, got that Tony Tiger fish, man, pivot smoke great. Every time my phone ring, dog, it's 18.5, only problem that I have is what car I'm gon' drive. I'm a real street nigga, I ain't never had shit. Then the chain around my neck cost 4 or 5 bricks. I'm a street nigga, dog, I don't love no bitch. I ain't talking to you, baby, unless you buy 10 bricks. Saw the 06 Lamb with the butterfly dough. That's $250,000 thong just to pull hoes. I'm a street nigga, dog, I'm a street nigga, dog. You a street nigga just like me. I'm a street nigga, dog, I'm a street nigga, dog. No industry, I'm in these streets. I'm a street nigga, dog, I'm a street nigga, dog. You a street nigga just like me. I'm a street nigga, dog, I'm a street nigga, dog. No industry, I'm in these streets. I'm a street nigga, dog. Hoes love my swag. And the Jacob on my wrist, that's a drop top jag.
Hey, let me hear that hoe, Jeff.
Fun niggas can't cut me down. I already know nobody don't got my back. Yeah. Back, stack, racks, black, Mac, stay, strapped, big, racks, large, stacks, back, stack. Strap, ooh, big racks, ooh, large stacks, ooh. Boy, you cap.
Alrighty,
Boy,
everybody.
you cap. Oh, you ain't putting none on the map. Chopper on my lap. Oh, she like
Just
where
on
I
the
platinum
screen.
tags. Yeah, I'm chained by my tags. Yeah, give my sweat from my dad. Yeah, 100 bands in my bag. Got around in my mag. Fuck nigga been my swag. Hey, I was just chop my pad. Yeah, put your little bitch on the jet. Guess I'ma do with your lad. Hey, slide in the whip, drop fast. Going way faster than dash. Wanna race, boy, get dragged. Talking too slick, get clapped. Fucking your bitch, no fat. So fat, nigga better relax. Cause everything got say fat. Had to skate on the bitch like fat.
Alrighty. Eddard. Well, first of all, in reality, I already read about like 4 chapters. I believe it starts with prologue or 5 chapters. If you include prologue. I'm sorry. Praise Lord, I had to see that. Um, we're just gonna do Eddard and probably do 2 more chapters. Ooh, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry, music. Time to go. I don't even know I didn't pause it. Ooh, do I even want to edit that out? I don't know. Just let it flow. Just let it flow. Yeah, Eddard. I think in this chapter he takes him down to the crypts and he talks about some information about it's more world building for real, for real. Let's just get into it. But I already read Daenerys. That Daenerys chapter is so I still don't understand why these people have to be 13 years old. Daenerys, I just don't understand. Just 2 years, just 3 years. Like, dude, it's just weird, man. It's just weird. And and people always say that it's because like all these people are so bad, these feudal lords, and that's how it used to be in the past. And he's showing how bad people are. It's like, dude, who cares? You don't have to do. We don't have to get this all the time, bro. It's just weird. John's like 15 to 14. Melisandre, how? Anyway, Eddard. The visitors poured through the castle gates in a river of gold and silver and polished steel. 300 strong, a pride of bannermen and knights of sworn swords and free riders. Over their heads, a dozen golden banners whipped back and forth in northern wind, blazoned with the crowned stag of Baratheon. Ned knew many of the riders. There came Sir Jaime Lannister with his hair as bright as beaten gold. I'm sorry. And there, Senator Clegane with his terrible burned face. His terrible burned face. The tall boy beside him could only be the crown prince, and that stunted little man behind him. Behind them was Shirley the Imp, Tyrion Lannister. So it's cool. It's world building. Um, we obviously get so many names. I'm trying to. Well, I've watched so many YouTube videos. I'm ready. We're just we're all waiting for the Winds of Winter. Obviously, we're all in the Dance of Dragons, just like constantly trying to find content, trying to squeeze as much content as we possibly can out of the Winds of Winter. Uh, the Winds of Winter sample chapters and the Dance of Dragons. But God, George, it's been it's been 20 years. It's been 50 years since a Dance of Dragon. What the hell? Oh Lord, no. But we just have to hope that we'll get like the second half of a Dance of Dragons because that's what a Winds of Winter is, which is like crazy. It's like he had it submitted, but like he broke it in half. So what's taking so long? I don't understand. I don't understand. Oh God. Yet the huge man at the head of the column, flanked by 2 knights in the snow-white cloaks of the King's Guard, seemed almost stranger to Ned, until he valued off the back of his warhorse with familiar roar and crushed him in a bone-crushing hug. And And it's interesting. He doesn't recognize. He's like, who the hell is this guy that's like riding beside him? Ned. But it's good to see that frozen face of yours. The king looked him over top to bottom and laughed. You have not changed at all. Would that Ned had been able to say the same? 15 years passed when they had ridden forth to win the throne. The Lord of Storms End had been clean shaven, clear eyed, and muscled like a maiden's fantasy. And as everybody loves to say, very, very sorry. As everybody loves to say, um, George loves to, it's a fantasy, and he loves to, what's the word? He's like reversing things. It's like he's playing with tropes. He's like, the king, but like Shining King. Rob was a Shining King. He was strong. He was a man. He was everything built like a king. He was like, a king. He won the war until the win. He survived the war and he beat Rhaegar. Um, I don't know if he said that in the story. I mean, it doesn't matter. Um, and then like he is that guy, but over the years, over some time, his reality, he turns into this fat guy and like he changed. It's unfortunate, and like I don't understand. Like, how can you just maybe it's just privilege. Like, as a king, how can you wield so much power and just do nothing, just be a fat idiot the entire time? It's weird. 15 years passed when they had ridden forth to win the throne. The Lord of Storms End had been clean shaven, clear eyed, and muscled like a maiden's fantasy. And Cersei gets Robert and then like he comes like, okay, we're about to have sex, all that shit, and then like he whispers Leanna and he comes drunk. So they really fucked up and like disgusting. It's like ew, it's not like what I it's like it's like flipping the trope of like, the knight in shining armor is Rob, like the king and all. It's like what Cersei wanted, but it's just a drunk idiot, disgusting man. It's like, oh god. You can imagine you can imagine like what Cersei's feeling. I think yeah, Cersei told that to Ned towards the end. Let's just get there. Let me stop rapping. 6.5 feet tall, he towered over lesser men, and when he donned his armor and the great antler helm and the great antler helmet of his house, he became very I'm sorry. He became a veritable giant. He's had a giant's strength too. His weapon of choice, a spiked iron warhammer that Ned could could scarcely lift. In those days, the smell of leather and blood had clung to him like perfume. Now it was perfume that clung to him like perfume. And he had a girth to match his height. And that's so cool because he's a king now, and it's like things have changed. Ned had last seen the king 9 years before, during Balon Greyjoy's rebellion. When the stag and the direwolf had joined to the end, the petition of the self-proclaimed king of the Iron Islands. Oh my God, I want to read that again. I'm sorry. Ned had last seen the king 9 years before, during Balon Greyjoy's rebellion, when the stag and the direwolf had joined to the end petitions of the self-proclaimed king of the Iron Islands. Since the night they had stood side by side in Greyjoy's fallen stronghold, where Robert had accepted the rebel lord's surrender and Ned had taken his son Theon as hostage and ward, the king had gained at least 8 stone, a beard as coarse and black as iron, and wire covered his jaw to hide his double chin, and the sag of the royal jowls, but nothing could hide his stomach or the dark circles under his eyes. Yet Robert was Ned's king now, and not just as a friend. So he had only your grace. Winterfell is yours. That's interesting. I mean, that's cool. I love that, like how you have to just throw away your friendships and like just it's very formal first. And yeah, it's like I mean, because it's like he hasn't. Rob is like fuck that shit. I want to see my friend, and he hugs him. Like Ned's like he has to be formal. He has to tell him your grace. Um, it's very cool. The pleasantries and the honor and the I guess how do I it's very that it is very like cool to see like in I guess in fantasy I suppose not just in fantasy just in stories like seeing people in like higher positions like I don't know how to explain it. So he yet Robert was Ned's king now and not just a friend. So he said only, "Your Grace, Winterfell is yours." By then, the others were dismounted as well, and grooms were coming forward for their mounts. Robert's queen, Cersei Lannister, entered on foot with her younger children. The wheelhouse in which they had ridden, a huge double-deck carriage of oiled oak and gilded metal pulled by 40 heavy draft horses, was too wide to pass through the castle gate. Ned knelt in the snow to kiss the queen's ring, while Robert embraced Catelyn long, like a long lost sister. The children had brought forward, um, introduced, and approved of by both sides. No sooner had those formalities of greetings been completed than the king had said to his host, "Take me down to your crypt, Eddard. I will pay my respects." Ned loved him for that, for remembering her still after all these years. He called for a lantern. No other words were needed. The queen had begun to protest. They had been riding since dawn. Everyone was tired and cold. Surely they should refresh themselves first. The dead would wait, she said. And that's interesting because he's already established that like the Ned, like the Starks don't like the Lannisters and the Queen, and it's already and that I mean what this little tidbit here doesn't establish that they hate each other, but it's like it's just like it's the beginning. It's like it's the first it's the first taste I suppose of like what's to come between Robert and Cersei. The dead would wait. She had said no more than that. Robert had looked at her. Her twin brother Jamie had taken her quietly by the arm, and she had said no more. They went, and that was all public, and that's all public too, in front of everybody. Um, I think that happened in the show. I'm not exactly sure. Robert snorted. Bogs and forests and fields, and secretly a decent inn north of the neck. I've never seen such a vast emptiness. Where are all your people? Likely they are too shy to come out, Ned jested. He could feel the chill coming up the stairs, a cold breath from deep within the earth. Kings are a rare sight in the north. Robert snorted. More likely they were hiding under the snow. Snow, Ned. Snow, Ned. The king put one hand on the people um take that line. I've seen Ulchik episode Ulchik whatever his name is, Snow, Jon Snow, King, Rhaegar, Lyanna, bada bing, bada boom. I wumbo, she wumbo, he, me, she wumbo. You get it. That's it. I hope they did not trouble you. They are usually mild. I'm guessing. I wonder why. I mean, in the Northmen are different, and in the Game of Thrones show, they don't really show. They could have did so much more, but they decided Game of Thrones could have been 10 or 11 seasons. They could have did so much more, but they just decided to just do anything, man. It's just what a damn shame. What a damn shame. The king put one hand on the wall to steady himself as they descended. Late summer snows are common enough, Ned said. I hope they did not trouble you. They are usually mild. I'm sorry. Okay. I think I can make myself a little bit bigger. Hold on. Yeah, why not? This is good enough. All right. I've been like this since I was in the womb. Anyway, late summer snows are common enough, Ned said. I hope they did not trouble you. They are usually mild. I'm sorry. It is. What time is it now? It's 7:18 in the evening. The others take your mild snows, Robert swore. What will this place be like in winter? I shudder to think. The winters are hard, Ned admitted, but the Starks will endure. We always have. You need to come south. Um, I remember reading about the winters, like in the Jaehaerys chapters. I remember that, like, yeah, it was like a really terrible winter. Like, so many people died. I think like an actual Targaryen died too for like the first time through winter. It was like one princess, but like that's in the books. That's in Fire and Blood. Where was I? Um, and I can't wait to actually get winter in the books. Like, if we get like the Winds of Winter, I wonder if we're actually going to get like some wintry shit like for the first time. Who knows? The winters are hard, Ned admitted, but the Starks will endure. We always have. You need to come south, Robert told him. You need a taste of summer before it flees. In Highgarden, there are fields of golden roses that stretch away as far as the eyes can see. The fruits are so ripe, they explode in your mouth. Melons, peaches, fire plums. You've never tasted such sweetness. You'll see. I brought you some, even at storm's end. With that good wind of the bay, the days are so hot you can barely move, and you ought to see the towns, Ned. Flowers everywhere. The market's bursting, bursting with food. The summer wine so cheap and so good that you can get drunk just breathing the air. Everyone is fat and drunk and rich. He laughed and slapped ample stomach, his own ample stomach a thump. And the girls, Nettie exclaimed, his eyes sparkling. I swear, women lose all modesty in the heat. They swim naked in the rivers, right beneath the castle, even in the streets. It's too damn hot for wool or fur. So they go around in these short gowns, silk, if they have the silver, and cotton if not. But it's all the same when they start sweating and the cloth sticks to their skin. They might as well be naked, the king laughed happily. Robert Baratheon had always been a man of huge appetites, a man who knew how to take his pleasure. That was not a charge anyone could lay at the door of Eddard Stark. Yet Ned, that line, he's like, nah, you couldn't say that shit about me. Fuck that. Yet Ned could not help but notice that those pleasures were taking on a toll on the king. Robert was breathing heavily by the time they reached the bottom of the stairs, his face red in the lantern light as they stepped out into the darkness of the crypt. Your Grace, Ned said respectfully. He swept the lantern in a wide semicircle. Robert can't even go down the stairs and he's breathing. This nigga needs to go, bruh. That shit's crazy. Shadows moved and lurched. Flickering light touched the stones underfoot and brushed against a long precision of granite pillars that marched ahead, two by two, into the dark. Between the pillars, the dead sat on their stone thrones against the walls, backs against the sepul- sepulchres. How do you pronounce this? How do you pronounce this shit? Curious. Sepulchres. Sepulcher. Sepulchres. Sepulchres. Sepulchres that contain their mortal remains. She is down at the end with father and Brandon. He led the way between the pillars, and Robert followed wordlessly, shivering in the subterranean chill. It's funny. It was always cold down there. It was always cold down here. Sorry. Their footsteps rang off the stones and echoed in the vault overhead as they walked among the dead of House Stark. The lords of Winterfell watched them pass. Their likeness were carved into the stones that sealed the tombs. In long rows they sat, blind eyes staring out into eternal darkness, while great stone direwolves curled round their feet. The shifting shadows made the stone figures seem to stir as the living passed by. Ancient customs as iron long sword had been laid across the lap of each who had been Lord of Winterfell. To keep the vengeful spirits in their crypts, the oldest had long the oldest had long ago rusted away to nothing, leaving only a few red stains where the metal had rested on stone. Ned wondered if that meant those ghosts were free to roam the castle now. He hoped not. The first lords of Winterfell had the men hard as the land they ruled. In the centuries before the Dragon Lords came over the sea, they had sworn allegiance to no man, styling themselves the kings in the north. Ned stopped at last and lifted the oil lantern. The crypt continued on into darkness ahead of them, but beyond this point, the tombs were empty and unsealed. Black holes waited for the dead, waiting for him and his children. Ned did not like to think on that. Here, he told his king. Robert nodded silently, knelt, and bowed his head. There were three tombs side by side. Lord Rickard Stark, Ned's father, had a long, stern face. The stone mason had known him well. He sat with quiet dignity, stone fingers holding tight to the sword across his lap. But in life, all swords had failed him in two smaller sepulchres. On either side were his children. Brandon had been 20 when he died, strangled by order of the Mad King, Aerys Targaryen, only a few short days. So it's a lot of names. I mean, I'm trying to see. You do get recurring names. I don't know, but I just know the story, so there's no point in even doing this, quite frankly. Hypotheticals of like, you just read for real. Excuse me. Mad King Aerys Targaryen, only a few short days before he was to wed Catelyn Tully of Riverrun. His father had been forced to watch him die. He was the true heir, the eldest born to rule. Lyanna had only been 16, a child woman of surpassing loveliness. Ned had loved her with all his heart. Robert had loved her even more. She was to have been his bride. She was more beautiful than that, the king said after a silence. His eyes lingered on Lyanna's face, as if he could will her back to life. Finally he rose, made awkward by his weight. Ah, damn it, Ned. Did you have to bury her in a place like this? His voice was hoarse with remembered grief. She deserved more than darkness. She was a Stark of Winterfell, Ned said quietly. This is her place. She could be on a hill somewhere, under a fruit tree, with the sun and clouds above her and the rain to wash her clean. I was with her when she died, Ned reminded the king. She wanted to come home, to rest beside Brandon and father. He could hear her still at times. Damn. So that was I wonder I wonder if that was true. That's probably true. You could hear her still at times. Promise me, she said she had cried in a room that smelled of blood and roses. Promise me, Ned. The fever had taken her strength, and her voice had been faint as a whisper. But when he gave her his word, the fear had gone out of his sister's eyes. Ned remembered the way she had smiled then, how tightly her fingers had clutched his as she gave up her hold on life, the rose petals spilling from her palm, dead and black. After that, he remembered nothing. They had found him still holding her body, silent with grief. The little Crannock man, Howland Reed, had taken her hand from his. Ned could recall none of it. I bring her flowers when I can, he said. Lyanna was found fond of flowers. That's so sad. That is the saddest shit ever. Because in reality, like this is Ned recalling. This is so cool because we don't get this in the story. I wish we can get like an animated series on HBO. Like he's there and he's just dead and he's just like okay, because like he gets like the Targaryen baby like destroys Lyanna because like the Targaryen genes and stuff. Um, which is Jon Snow, and then like I'm guessing they see his hair. You have to like promise me that I'm guessing Lyanna told Rhaegar. I mean, Leanna told Ned about about Rhaegar about like, hey, here's his baby now, so you have to like take care of it. Don't let promise me. And I still love. It's still fun. It's like if with the reader I mean, this is a good hint. Promise me. Okay, it's like you get the Targaryen stuff, and then you get the promise me, and then there's hints. It's like if you're like reading it slowly, there's just hints, I suppose. So there's just if you're just reading it slowly and you're getting the names, and there's a lot of recurring names, it makes it a lot easier. That's why I can't read. I can't wait to read The Winds of Winter for myself. I just can't wait to do it so I can actually try to do it without watching YouTubers. And like that's kind of boring and like useless. I want to do it. I want to do this myself. It's way more fun. Anyway, and then Howland Reed. I wonder when Howland and then Howland Reed being there. I wonder when he's going to come into the story. The king touched her cheek, his fingers brushing across the rough stone as gently as if it were living flesh. I'd love to kill Rhaegar for what he did to her. You did, Ned reminded him. Only once. Robert said bitterly. They had come together at the ford of the Trident while the battle crashed around them. Robert with his warhammer and his giant antlered helm, the Targaryen prince armored all in black. On his breastplate was a three-headed dragon of the house, wrought all in rubies and flashed like fire in the sunlight. The waters of the Trident ran red around the hooves of their destriers as they circled and clashed again and again until at last the crushing. So this is like a flashback, which is cool. Like we are getting it's like a it's Ned's thinking it, but like it's kind of cool because like if you're like kind of like doing Like if it was animated, we literally get this. Like we literally like if they were like trying to like if they're talking, they literally get it. Go into the flashback and we literally see it. You know. Oh man, I wish they'd animated the series. If they animated it, it'd be so much better. Like the live action is cool too, but some shit could just be animated too. Like, god damn. No. Oh my god, I thought that was somebody else. I stopped completely. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I was like, whoa, I'm cooked. I'm cooked. I was like, God, please don't let that be. I thought that was somebody else. I was about to be finished on live stream. My mom coming in, surprise visit. What the Mom, I'm trying to stream on YouTube. I'm not even enough. God, living with people is hilarious. I was so scared. I was like, God, please don't knock the door, please. Oh, life is funny. Let's continue reading. I'm very sorry. I apologize. Um, they had come together at okay. The waters of the Trident ran red around the hooves of their destiers as they circled and clashed again and again, until at last a crushing blow from Robert's hammer stove in the damn. I did not. Not clean that. Oh, this is a live stream too, and I can't just pause and think. It's like, oh God, let me just continue reading. I can't even edit that out. You have to just keep on going, and it's like you just can't just stop like that. It's like, oh God, this is so unexpected. I wish I cleaned the bathroom properly, but oh well. Let's keep on going. They had come together at the ford of the Trident. Blah 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 blah. Rhaegar lay dead in the stream, while men of both armies scrabbled in the swirling waters for Ruby's not free of his armor. That's cool. That little detail there. Everybody's like, "Oh shit, he's dead." So everybody's like, "It's over," and then everybody just scrambles for his rubies. That's hilarious. In my dreams, I kill him every night, Robert admitted. 1,000 deaths will still be less than he deserves. There was nothing Ned could say to that. Yes, I have the mute button too. It's just like fuck it. I don't even. I just fuck it. Woman. I mean, no. Oh, that's so sexist. That's so sexist. I just said woman. That's crazy. That's insane. Shout out to people. Shout out to women. Shout out to ladies. Shout out to the ladies. Um, dude, I have to keep on reading because this is like I don't want to keep on deleting. I have to leave this shit up no matter what, even if it's bad. It's gonna get better. But Jesus Christ, sitting here like, ugh. That's why you do these in the morning where you won't get like distracted, where you're alone. Like it's like shit. This is like shit. This is too much shit happening at once. Um. Oh God, where am I? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I had not forgotten their reply when the king did not answer. The others take my wife. There was nothing Ned could say to that. After a quiet, he said, "We should return, Your Grace. Your wife will be waiting." The others take my wife, Robin muttered sourly, and then another hint that they hate each other. But he started back the way they had come, his footsteps falling heavily. And if I hear your grace one more time, I'll have your head on a spike. We are more to each other than that. Wow, that's very cool. I had not forgotten, Ned replied quietly. When the king did not answer, he said, "Tell me about John." Robert shook his head. "I have never seen a man sicken so quickly. We have a tourney on my son's name day." Wow. Oh wait, I had not forgotten, Ned replied quietly. When the king did not answer, he said, "Tell me about John." Robert shook. Oh, oh, oh. I read that the other way around. I thought like Robert was asking Ned, and Ned was just refusing to tell Robert about John. Like, no, it's the other way around. Wrong characters. Robert shook his head. "I have never seen a man sicken so quickly. We gave a tourney on my son's name day." On my son's name day. If you had seen John then, you would have sworn he would live forever. A fortnight later, he was dead. The sickness was like a fire in his gut. It burned right through him. He paused beside. I'm thinking about when the lady just came and just, you need to give me some money. I'm just like, yes. I'm so scared. I'm like, fuck, what did I do now? Oh my God. Uh, let me just focus. I'm sorry. I want to read another chapter, but I don't even think I can. Robert's mouth gave a bitter twist. Not well, in truth. Robert shook his head. "I have never seen a man sicken so quickly. If seen John then, you have sworn he would live forever. A fortnight later, he was dead. The sickness was like a fire in his gut. It burned right through him." He paused beside a pillar before the tomb of a long dead Stark. So that's kind of like, well, when we get it later that he was poisoned, when we get back to this, he was fine, and then boom, he's just dead. Like a fortnight later, he's just dead. Like nothing happens to him in sickness. That happens because it's like medieval times, but like that's like a hint. Like nobody's just boom dead like that. Even though sometimes it happens. It at least takes like a month or so. This is sickness, but just boom, he's just dead just like that. We both did, Ned paused a moment. Catelyn fears for her sister. How does Lysa bear her grief? Robert's mouth gave a bitter twist. Not well, in truth, he admitted. I think losing John has driven the woman mad. Ned has driven the woman mad, Ned. She has taken the boy back to the area against my wishes. I had hoped to foster him with Tywin Lannister at Castle Rock. John had no brothers, no other sons. Was I supposed to leave him to be raised by a woman? Ned would sooner entrust a child to a pit viper than to Lord Tywin. but he left his doubts unspoken. Some old wounds never truly heal and bleed again at the slightest wound, at the slightest word. The wife has lost the husband, he said carefully. Perhaps the mother feared to lose a son. The boy is very young, 6 and sickly. And Lord of Erie, gods have mercy, the king swore. Lord Tywin had never taken a ward before. Lysa ought to have been honored. The Lannisters are a great and noble house. She refused to even hear of it. Then she felt in the dead of night, without so much as a by your leave, by your leave. Cersei was furious. He sighed deeply. The boy is my namesake. Did you know that? Robert Arryn. I am sworn to protect him. How can I do that if his mother steals him away? Hmm. And Cersei was angry. Cersei just wants her to like. Cersei just wanted Rob to be there for like as a hostage for real, for real. But that's so interesting. If because like this is like an interesting hypothetical. It's like yeah, give it to Tywin. I mean, giving it to Tywin like would like actually like make the boy strong, but like they would actually make him a hostage too. Unfortunately, yeah. Rob Eddard is kind of right. I will take him as ward if you wish. Ned said. Lysa should consent to that. She and Catelyn were closest girls, and she would be welcome here as well. A generous offer, my friend, the king said, but too late. Lord Tywin has already given his consent. Fostering the boy elsewhere will be a grievous affront to him. I have more concern for my nephew's welfare than I do for Lannister's pride, Ned declared. That is because you do not sleep with the Lannister, Robert laughed, the sound rattling among the tombs and bouncing from the vaulted ceiling. His smile was a flash of white teeth in the thicket of the huge black beard. Ah, Ned, Ned, he said, you are still too serious. He put a massive arm around Ned's shoulders. I had planned to wait a few days to speak to you, but I see now there's no need for it. Come, walk with me. They started back down between the pillars. Blind, stone eyes seemed to follow them as they passed. The king kept his arm around Ned's shoulders. You must have wondered why I finally came north to Winterfell after so long. Ned had his suspicions, but he did not give them voice. For the joy of my company, Shirley, he said lightly. And there is a wall. You need to see it, Your Grace, to walk along its battlements and talk to those who man it. The Night's Watch is a shadow of what it once was. Benjamin says, no doubt. I will hear what your brother has soon. He's like, yeah, yeah, I don't give a fuck, nigga. It's soon enough, Robert said. The wall has stood for what 8,000 years. It can keep a few days more. I have more pressing concerns. There are different. These are difficult times. I need good men about me, men like John Aaron. He served as Lord of the Erie, as a warden of the East, as the hand of the king. He will not be easy to replace. His son, Ned began. His son will succeed to the Erie and all his incomes, Robert said brusquely. No more. That took Ned by surprise. He stopped he stopped startled and turned to look at his king. The words came unbidden. The Arians have always been wardens of the East. The title goes with his with the domain. Perhaps when he comes of age, the honor can be restored to him. Robert said, I have this year to think of, and next, a 6-year-old boy is no war leader, Ned. In peace, the title is only an honor. Let the boy keep it. For his father's sake, if not his own, surely you owe John that much for his service. The king was not pleased. He took his arm from around Ned's shoulders. John's service was a duty he owed his liege lord. I am not ungrateful, Ned. You, of all men, ought to know that. But the son is not the father. A mere boy cannot hold the East. Then his tone softened. Enough of this. There is a more important office to discuss, and I will not argue with you. Robert gasped Ned by the elbow. I have need of you, Ned. I'm yours to command, your grace, always. There were words he had to say, and so he had said them, apprehensive about what comes next. Robert scarcely seemed to hear them, to scarcely hear him. Those years he spent in the Eyrie, gods, they were good years. I want you at my side again, Ned. I want you down in King's Landing, not up here at the end of the world where you're no damn use to anybody. Robert looked off into the darkness for a moment as melancholy as a Stark. I swear to you, sitting a throne is 1,000 times harder than winning one. Laws are a tedious business, and counting coppers is worse. And the people, there's no end of them. I sit on the that damnable iron chair and listen to them complain until my mind is numb and my ass is raw. They all want something, money or land or justice. The lies they tell, and my lords and ladies are no better. I am surrounded by flatterers and fools. He can drive a man to madness. Ned, it can drive a man to madness, Ned. Half of them don't dare to tell me the truth, and the other half can't find it. There are nights I wish we had lost the trident. Ah, no, not truly, but I understand, Ned said softly. He's like, there's nights I wish, man, fuck it, man. We just would have died and it just would have been over. Robert looked at him. I think you do. If so, you are the only one, my old friend, he smiled. Lord Eddard Stark, I will name you Hand of the King. Ned dropped to one knee. The offer did not surprise him. What other reason could Robert have had for coming so far? The Hand of the King was the second most powerful man in the Seven Kingdoms. He spoke with the king's voice. This is like exposition, um, more Lord, and I want this. He built so many positions. The King's Guard, the Hand of the King. I mean, it's so cool because Aegon. It all started with like the Targaryens. They're the ones that created it. Um, and I can't. I don't know how you copy the King's Guard in the story. You can like have individual guards, but the King's Guard, seven individual guards. I don't know how you copy that in like your own story. It's gonna be hard and not like be like a blatant ripoff. The Hand of the King was the second most powerful man in the Seven Kingdoms. He spoke with the king's voice, commanded the king's armies, drafted the king's laws. At times, he even sat upon the Iron Throne to dispense the king's justice. When the king was absent or sick or otherwise indisposed, Robert was offering him a responsibility as large as the realm itself. It was the last thing in the world he wanted. And that's so true. Nobody would actually want that shit. Who would want to do that shit? Your Grace, he said, I am not worthy of the honor. Robert groaned with good humored impatience. If I wanted to honor you, I'd let you retire. I'm planning to make you run the kingdom and fight the wars out while I eat and drink and wench myself into an early grave. He slapped his gut and grinned. You know the saying about the king and his hand. Ned knew the saying. When the king dreams, he said, the hand builds. I betted a fish maid once who told me the low-born have a choicer way to put it. The king eats, they say, and the hand takes the shits. And the hand takes the shits. He threw back his head and roared his laughter. The echoes rang through the darkness, and all around them the dead of Winterfell seemed to watch with cold and disapproving eyes. Cold and disapproving eyes is hilarious. It's like, dude, you can't say that, bro. This is not good. Finally, the laughter dwindled and stopped. Ned was still on the knee, his eyes upraised. Damn it, Ned, the king complained. You might at least humor me with a smile. They say it grows so cold up here in winter that a man's laugh freezes in his throat and chokes him to death, Ned said evenly. Perhaps that is why the Starks have so little humor. Come south with me. and I'll teach you how to laugh again. The king promised. You helped me win this damnable throne. Now help me hold it. We were meant to rule together. If Leander had lived, we should have been brothers, bound by blood as well as affection. Well, it is not too late. I have a son, you have a daughter. My Joff and your Sansa shall join our houses, as Lyanna and I might once have done. This offer did surprise him. Sansa is only 11. Robert waved an impatient hand, old enough for betrothal. The marriage can wait a few years, the king smiled. Now stand up and say yes, curse you. Nothing would give me greater pleasure, your grace, Ned answered. He hesitated. These honors are all unexpected. May I have some time to consider? I need to tell my wife. Yes, yes, of course. Tell Catelyn. Sleep on it if you must. The king reached down, claps Ned by the hand, and pulls him roughly to his feet. Just don't keep me waiting too long. I am not the most patient of men. For a moment, Eddard Stark was filled with a terrible sense of foreboding. This was his place here in the north. He looked at the stone figures all around them. Breath deep in the chill silence of the crypt, he could feel the eyes of the dead. They were all listening, he knew, and winter was coming. And let's go all the way back to the beautiful. This is cool. Robert looked a bit short, and this is cool. I love how Eddard is drawn here. And then wolves look so intimidating. And it's Lyanna like right next to it. And this is Rickard, I suppose. Oh my god, actually reading these entire things. And I love this one, Caesarion, like casting a large shadow. Everybody does that. It's his first time in Winterfell. Oh my goodness, I don't like seeing how many pages I have to read. I'm just gonna take a little break. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm about to read John real quick too. I think this is the dinner. Yeah, this is the dinner, and John like acts like a baby, like a bitch, and then John storms the party. I'm not sure. It looks like there's a few. I'll be back. I'll be back. Oh my god, my mouth.